I went to see Pilar the next morning. I did not knock. The door was open. In Trasmoz the doors are always open, which makes sense when your village has been excommunicated for over 700 years and God is not watching. Who are you going to protect yourself from? I found her in the kitchen, peeling potatoes. The image stopped me a second in the doorway. My mother, in the dream on the first night, had been peeling potatoes in a kitchen exactly like this one. I did not think about it then. I should have. The kitchens of the old houses of Trasmoz are all the same: a dark wooden table scarred with knife marks, a gas burner, a crucifix on the wall, which in an excommunicated village carries a note of absurd defiance, and a small window that lets in just enough light to see what you are doing but not enough to see more than you should. "Sit down," she said without looking up. "There's coffee on the stove." I poured myself a cup. I watched her peel potatoes with a precision that ruled out any senile tremor. Pilar peeled potatoes the way a watchmaker dismantles a mechanism, without haste, without waste, without doubt. I told her about the ravine, what I had felt, the terror that was not mine, the tears that were not mine. I told her about the recording, the voices, my name. Pilar was not surprised. Not because she was pretending, because there was nothing to be surprised about. For her, what I was describing was as everyday as the potatoes. "How long have you been in the village?" she asked. "A week. 5 days longer than it took Becca." She set down the knife. She wiped her hands on her apron. She looked at me. "Close your eyes." "Why?" "Close your eyes. 1 minute. Don't think. Don't listen. Just stay." I closed my eyes. A minute is a long time when you are doing nothing. You can hear how an old refrigerator works, how a tap drips that needs a washer, how a chair creaks under the weight of someone settling in. You can hear your own breathing and that of the person across from you. But in Pilar's kitchen, I heard more than 2 sets of breathing. Or I did not hear, I felt. A third rhythm. Slower than ours. Deeper. Like the breathing of someone asleep. And with that rhythm came a warmth. Not the warmth of the stove or the coffee. A localized warmth, to my left, at shoulder height, as if someone were standing beside me. And then, and this is what made me open my eyes all at once, something touched me. Not a hand. Not fingers. A brush. Gentle. On my left shoulder. The way someone places a hand on you to get your attention, but with a delicacy that does not belong to this century. I opened my eyes. There was no one to my left. Pilar had the calm of someone showing what is obvious. "That is my husband," she said. "Tomas. He died 12 years ago. He likes to know who comes to the house." I did not scream. I did not stand. I did not run. I did something worse. I stayed sitting and asked for more coffee. Pilar spoke for an hour. Without drama, without solemnity, without the theatricality of someone revealing a secret. She spoke the way one speaks of the weather or the harvest, of something that is there, that has always been there, and that does not need embellishment. The excommunication, she said, took away their sacraments. All of them. Baptism, confession, communion, marriage, last rites. For 770 years, no resident of Trasmoz has received the last rites with the full blessing of the Church. Do you know what that means? That they died in sin, technically. That they died without passage. The last rites are not just a ritual. They are a door. They tell the soul where to go. Without them, the soul does not know. It stays where it is. Pilar, you're talking to me about ghosts. No. Ghosts are seen. Ghosts do things. They move objects, they appear, they frighten. This is not that. These are people who stayed. They are not trapped. They are not angry. They are not looking for anything. They simply did not leave. Because no one opened the door for them. When you rented me the house, you said the other rooms were occupied. You meant it. Of course I meant it. Who do you take me for? I asked her how many there were in total. All of them. Everyone who has died here since 1255. 770 years of dead. Entire families. Generations. The parents of my parents of my parents. My husband. My mother. Fermin's sister. Tia Casca. Tia Casca is in the ravine. Tia Casca is wherever she likes. But yes, she spends a lot of time in the ravine. I think she likes it when people come to see her. She was lonely when she was alive. Not anymore. She said it without bitterness. Without irony. With the crushing naturalness of someone who has spent 84 years living alongside the dead and long ago stopped finding it extraordinary. And the living? I asked. Do you all know? No. Some do. The ones who have sensitivity. The ones who grew up here. The ones who pay attention. Most don't know. They live on top of the dead without realizing. Like everywhere else. Only here the dead are closer. Aren't you afraid? Pilar looked at me as if I had said something stupid. Afraid of my husband? Afraid of my mother? Vega, they're not strangers. They're ours. They don't bother you if you don't bother them. I went back to the house. I climbed the stairs. I stood before the two closed doors in the corridor. The one on the left was my bedroom. Open. The bed unmade, my laptop on the bedside table, my suitcase half unpacked in a corner. The one in the center. Cold to the touch. I opened it. A bedroom identical to mine. Bed, bedside table, wardrobe. Empty. But not entirely. The air had weight. Not like a room that has been closed for a long time, that dense air that smells of dust and damp. This air had weight of a different kind. As if it contained something. Someone was lying in that bed. Eyes closed. Breathing slowly. And the simple fact of being there filled the space with a heaviness that cubic meters could not explain. I saw nothing. I heard nothing. But I knew, with the same certainty with which you know there is someone behind you in a lift before you turn, that I was not alone in that room. I closed the door. Slowly. The way you close the door of someone who is sleeping. The one on the right. Warm. Since the first day. I placed my whole palm against it. Warm as skin. I opened it. The same as the other. Bed, bedside table, wardrobe. But here the air was different. Warmer. And it had a smell, not old wax, as I had thought the first day. A person. Clean clothes and skin. A smell that should not exist in a room where no one has slept in years. I sat on the bed. It was an impulse, the same one that made me close my eyes in Pilar's kitchen, the same one that nailed my feet to the floor of the ravine. The body decides before the mind. The bed was warm. I did not leave. I sat there for 5 minutes, breathing the dense air of a room that was not empty, feeling the warmth of a mattress that someone was heating without having a body. And I felt something I had not felt in 24 years. Company. The certainty that someone was there, beside me, asking for nothing, threatening nothing, demanding nothing. Simply being. When I left, I closed the door with the same care as I had closed the other. And I went down to the kitchen with damp eyes and a question I did not dare to form. If the dead of Trasmoz stay, where are the dead from everywhere else? Where is my mother? I found Iñigo on the outskirts of the village, sitting on a stone wall with a crook in his hand and 30 sheep grazing on the slope behind him. The mid-afternoon sun struck his face and marked wrinkles that did not belong to his 30 years. Wrinkles from sun and wind and looking too much. Pilar told me about the dead, I said, without preamble. Iñigo did not look at me. He went on watching the sheep. And you believe her? I felt things I can't explain. That's not believing. That's not being able to deny. He was right. That was exactly what it was, not being able to deny. Can you feel them? I asked. Iñigo pulled a blade of grass. He chewed it. He spat. Feel them? No. I see them. I turned to face him. He spoke without looking at me, his eyes on the sheep, his voice flat, the voice of someone stating a fact without decoration. Since I was a boy, at first I thought everyone could see them. Then I understood they couldn't. That only I could. And my grandmother, a little, she feels them but doesn't see them. I see them. What do they look like? The same as you and me. Normal clothes. Normal faces. Old, young, children. The only difference is they have no shadow. I said nothing. I thought of the photographs from the first day, the extra shadows in the streets. If the dead cast no shadow, the extra shadows were not from the dead. They were mine, reflected on the ground, on the walls, on the windows. The normal shadows of the living. What was missing from the photographs were the shadows of those who were there and did not have any. Trasmoz did not have too many shadows. It had too few. How many are there? I asked. Iñigo surveyed the village with his eyes. His lips moved. He pointed with his chin an alley, a window, the church door, a terrace, the cemetery wall. The way one counts sheep on a hillside. 200 and some. But they come and go. Some spend spells on the mountain. Others stay in the same house always. It's hard to keep count. 200 and some. 488 living. Nearly 3 dead for everyone alive. And I had spent a week sleeping in a house with 2 of them without knowing. Who are the ones in my house? Iñigo looked at me for the first time. His eyes were dark, like Pilar's, but stiller. The eyes of someone who has seen too much to be surprised and too little to give up. 2 women. Mother and daughter. They died of the flu in 1918. The mother in the middle bedroom and the daughter in the one on the right. The daughter was about your age. Is that why the door is warm? The young dead keep more warmth. I don't know why. The old ones grow cold over time. But the young ones, it's as if they haven't quite accepted that they no longer have a body. He stood. He whistled at the sheep. He began walking up the slope. Iñigo, I called. Are you afraid of them? He stopped. He did not turn. He spoke toward the mountain. They're my neighbors. I know more dead than living in this village. My grandfather, my best friend, Wanjo's father, Fermin's sister. They're all here. They don't frighten me. They keep me company. And he added, before walking on. But don't tell Fermin. He thinks his sister is suffering. That she's trapped. That she needs him to set her free. But I see her every Thursday in the church, sitting in the second pew, with the same look of peace she had when she was alive. Clara is not suffering. Clara is home. He went up the slope with his sheep. And I stayed sitting on the stone wall, with the sun falling over Trasmoz, looking at the village streets that no longer seemed empty to me. They never had been. They were simply full of people who cast no shadow. That night I did not dream of my mother. I dreamed of the 2 bedrooms in my house. In the dream, I opened the doors and there were 2 women sitting on the beds, looking at me with curiosity. I did not recognize them. But they recognized me.